Legal action looms as opposition parties fight Ramaphosa's expropriation bill. Legal action looms as opposition parties fight Ramaphosa's expropriation bill.
Unfortunately, the ANC has taken to openly disrespecting coalition partners and undermining the very trust upon which a coalition agreement is built. In a statement at the January 8th anniversary.
But you see, the argument, I was against the argument, it was wrong. The argument that there were settlers who came, expropriated our land without compensation. Now it's our turn to expropriate the land from them without compensation to give to our people. So immediately, but to me as ANC person, I'm going to say, when the ANC says we are going to expropriate from whoever and give to our people, who in the eyes of the ANC among the South African population is not our people? As the ANC, another party can say that, but the ANC can't. To say, that's why we were saying, you know, the ANC says the Freedom Charter is our basic policy document. Sure. And the Freedom Charter says the land shall be shared among those who work it. Why are we departing from that?
We want all of the land. Here in eThekwini, we want to start with the land in Umhlanga. That's the land we want. We want to expropriate the land in Umhlanga with all those beautiful buildings, and we don't give anyone a cent. If they paid money, they paid money on a stolen vehicle.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. John Suwaina TV. Please subscribe. Opposition parties including the Democratic Alliance, DA, AfroForum, Action SA, amongst other organizations, have vowed to take legal action against President Cyril Ramaphosa's expropriation bill approval. Opposition parties including the Democratic Alliance, DA. The landmark legislation was signed to address long-standing issues of land inequality and provide a framework for the expropriation of land without compensation. This move is positioned as a measure to advance social justice and promote public interest in a country that is still grappling with the legacy of apartheid. The DA said it recognizes that the Constitution allows for acts of redress and restitution, including land reform. However, it had serious reservations about the procedure as well as important substantive aspects of the bill. We are in discussions with our legal team to formulate our case, the party said in a tense statement. Ernest Van Zyl, AfroForum's spokesperson, said the signing of the bill into law has sanctioned a substantial threat to the right to private property in the country. AfroForum will do everything in its power to protect citizens against appropriation without compensation. We seem to be the last real lines of defense left. The promulgation of the Bella Act and now the signing of the expropriation bill indicates that the ANC is effectively trying to use the GNU Government of National Unity to co-opt the former opposition parties to help the ANC carry out every one of its destructive policies, said Van Zyl. Action SA Parliamentary Chief Whip Lerato Ngobeni said Ramaphosa's signing of the bill was ANC's relentless push for destructive policies which threaten the future of South Africa. Action SA believes that the land reform is crucial for addressing historical injustices and must be expedited responsibly to safeguard property rights and maintain investor confidence. Consequently, we oppose any constitutional amendments permitting expropriation without compensation and uphold the protection of private property rights as a fundamental economic tenet, she said. The Cape Independence Advocacy Group joined the fray and said the bill undermines the sanctity of private property, a cornerstone of economic freedom and individual liberty. By enabling the state to seize assets without just compensation, it erodes the trust investors have in South Africa's economic stability, thereby threatening economic growth, job creation, and the prosperity of all citizens. The expropriation bill introduces uncertainty and fear among property owners, potentially leading to further capital flight and a decline in investment, which proportionately impacts the most vulnerable in our society, said the organization. While Makashule Ghana for Rise Mzansi said the party welcomed the signing of the bill and added that when expropriation is correctly applied, especially in public housing and rural development, the issues of spatial justice and spatial planning must be taken into account. Access to basic rights such as the right to clean water, good quality education, adequate housing, and land are all linked to spatial planning and intentionally constructed and maintained community infrastructure. Rise Mzansi wishes to caution political parties and other organizations from misrepresenting the law by pointing it as a license for state-sanctioned and illegal land grabs and the dissolution of property rights, Ghana said. Supporting ANC party leader, ANC national spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu Motsiri said the bill provides a framework to facilitate land reform in the public interest, creating opportunities for economic inclusion and development while ensuring that the rights of property owners are respected. This is a direct response to the needs of millions of South Africans who have been excluded from land ownership and access to natural resources for far too long, she said. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones, Wina TV. Please subscribe. Bye for now till we meet again next time. Subscribe.
Good afternoon. So what I am finding is that this is an emotive issue which is highly manipulated by the political class from both ends in order to achieve their own political imperatives that have got nothing to do with the substance of what this act says. So, for example, on the part of those that are for expropriation, they create the impression that they've now come up with the instrument that's going to allow the state to have vast amounts of land immediately en masse and be able to distribute that land. Okay, that's one. Mm-hmm. On the other side, you have politicians who are opposed to it. They think that this instrument allows the state to displace vast amounts of people in a fashion that is similar to the old style forced removals or ethnic cleansing that we saw in South Africa and what we are saying in Palestine. There's nothing of the sort that this act creates. But politicians, both on the part of the ANC and at some point the economic freedom fighters, when first Parliament agreed to take this process, somebody tweeted, "I'm going to write to our ancestors and tell them the land has returned," which was a highly misleading statement. What this act does, in my view, it creates one of the instruments in which land can be acquired, but it is not going to be a mass displacement of any people. And by the way, expropriation has happened in South Africa. It did not target white people. It did not target black people. It simply targeted whoever occupied that land that was needed. So one of the examples, for example, is the Kucha IDZ when it was declared. Two things happened there that relate to moving people from land. One, a mass number of black people, I think they were called the Kucha 360, they were moved by negotiation and agreeable compensation, which they agreed to. And then who was left there was a company called Offit Enterprises that triggered an expropriation process, which was done, and the company appealed and it was refused. And now that company, I think it was white owned because it was a farming enterprise. And in that instance, you see that there was no targeting with expropriation of a particular racial group in order to do historic injustice, which is what these politicians, both from the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, are manipulating public sentiment about. And I think it's wrong.
Are you willing to lose the DA in the GNU by voting with these other parties to pass the bill to expropriate land without compensation? Because the DA said they are going to leave. That's where they draw the line, unless that's another threat.
The DA will not be lost to us. It would have been their choice to leave and guide
Would you be okay with that?
It's not a question of being okay or not okay. What we understand of the GNU is that others may make their own choices as we move forward in this particular instance. So it depends what will actually move them. So in this particular instance, we are firm in terms of working with everybody that is within the government of national unity.
Okay, and just to be clear, so I understand, no matter how much noise the DA may make, is because this is ANC policy, if there are parties that are willing to support you, you will take this through in Parliament.
The ANC will initiate its process of policy implementation in the executive and then also within the legislatures. That is what it will do. And then when we do that, we will inform everybody, including our GNU partners. Those who want to come with us will come with us. Some will come with us who are not part of the GNU. It's up to them to do so. But we must understand that we don't just follow the music and dance for it. We've got to understand how the producer arrived at that beat and so on, and why is it so attractive and so on. And then we get along with it to be part and parcel of the package of selling the music.
The South African government just signed into effect what used to be the bill for expropriation without compensation, which is now the Act for Expropriation Without Compensation. This means that assets, including land, can be legally expropriated while the government pays back a zero value to the rightful owner, and then reuse this assets or land for something that they claim to be public benefit. What it means in practice is that land can be taken, whether that be from farmers, whether that be from anyone, and given to whoever the ANC deems worthy. What is Orania's answer to this? With me I have Gawie Snyman. Gawie is the town manager, the head of the Orania Dorpsraad or town council, and we will discuss not only this bill, but also the implications for Afrikaners in general and for Orania in specific. What is Orania's reaction to this new bill and this act of communism? Gawie, welcome very much.
Thank you, yes, it's a privilege to be here.
Gawie, what is your initial thoughts on this bill?
Well, yes, it doesn't actually come as a surprise. It's been waiting in the wings for a while now. I think the timing came as a surprise just after Trump won. So to a certain extent that was surprising. But I mean, us at Orania knew we're actually in a dispensational crisis, not a governance crisis. And that's why Orania exists. That's why we started Orania. That's why we're building every day on Orania. And that's what we believe is actually the signs that we saw, or the pioneers of Orania saw, coming to fruition now, and which actually shows everyone that Republican freedom for the Afrikaner people is actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. John Swiner TV. Please subscribe. Bye for now till we meet again next time. Subscribe, please. Don't forget to like and to comment. Thank you very much. Dr. John Swiner TV, Motsonga wa Shiviri from Limpopo. Goodbye till we meet again next time. Subscribe.